As Gabriel and I arrived at the small cabin in the remote woods, I felt a familiar excitement building within me. We'd been coming to this cabin for our annual hunting trip for several seasons, and it had become a cherished tradition. With a couple of beers in hand, we sat on the cabin's creaky porch, basking in the golden glow of the setting sun. "This season's going to be even better than last year," Gabriel remarked, clinking his bottle against mine. I nodded in agreement, taking a swig of my beer. "No doubt about it, Gabe. We've got a good feeling about this year." The next morning, we set out on our hunt, and our bows ready for action. As we ventured deeper into the forest, we both knew that luck played a crucial role in hunting. We spent hours tracking, but unfortunately, our prey remained elusive. The cabin's porch, in all its rustic charm, was a welcome sight upon our return. "Evening hunt, then?" Gabriel suggested, while cracking a fresh beer. I nodded, downing mine. "Absolutely. We might have better luck as the day winds down. But remember, we must meet back here before sundown. We can always go back for our kills later." That evening, we set off on our separate paths, promising to return to the cabin before darkness consumed the woods. I settled into a tree stand I had used for years, watching the forest with anticipation. As the hours passed, I had a few opportunities to take a shot, but I held out for a buck. I knew it was a waiting game, and I was willing to be patient. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I finally saw my chance. A young buck approaching my position. I took aim, released the arrow, and it struck the deer. Exhilarated by my success, I watched the wounded animal retreat into the woods. The fading light told me it was almost nightfall, but I couldn't help but admire my prize. I had forgotten about meeting Gabriel back at the cabin. "Well, Gabriel will understand," I mumbled to myself as I began packing up my gear. I sat in my tree stand waiting before getting down to start tracking the deer. I wouldn't want to spook the deer. I sat looking at the moon, admiring everything of nature in the night. A few minutes passed by, and I decided it was time to get down. I lowered my bow to the ground and prepared to get down. As I was about to descend, I heard leaves rustling not far from my tree stand. "Gabriel, is that you? I just shot one." Silence greeted me. I waited, growing more anxious as the seconds passed. "Gabriel, this isn't funny anymore. We're losing light and I don't have my flashlight." No response. I sighed and muttered an apology for not following our agreement. Maybe Gabriel was just trying to spook me. He had a fondness for playing pranks. I sighed, realizing that I'd have to wait it out. And then I heard it. There was crying from the underbrush. The voice was weak, distant, and it didn't sound like Gabriel. Panic welled up within me. "Hey, who's there? This isn't funny. If this is a joke, you better stop," I said, my voice trembling. "I'm armed, and I won't hesitate to defend myself." But the silence was suddenly broken by a voice calling my name from the darkness below, and it was not Gabriel's voice.
"Henry."
Panic surged through me. I was alone in the woods, or so I had thought. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice quaking. "Stop this nonsense, it's not funny." Then I heard the voice again, closer this time, still using my name.
"Henry."
I knew I had to act. I retrieved my handgun and warned the intruder to leave me alone or face the consequences. Suddenly, the steps came rushing towards the tree I was on. There was a moment of silence. I didn't know if I should keep talking to it or not. The voice, now just a few feet below my tree stand, continued to call my name.
"Come down, Henry, or I'll come below."
A sinister edge to its tone. Fear coursed through my veins. I had to do something, and fast. With no flashlight and unable to see what lurked beneath me, I made a decision. I fired 2 shots into the ground a few feet away from the tree. In response, there was nothing but silence. I listened intently, straining my ears for any sign of movement, but there was none. Running footsteps approached from the distance, and I heard Gabriel's voice in the darkness. "Henry, are you okay? What's going on?" I spotted a beam of light shining through the thickets as Gabriel drew nearer. Relief washed over me as I called out to him. Gabriel arrived at the base of the tree and shone his light below, revealing nothing but the forest floor. I got down immediately, and Gabriel looked just as confused as I was. He questioned why I was sweating like crazy just sitting in the tree stand. I couldn't tell him just yet. In panic mode, I told Gabriel that we have to get out of there and I'll explain everything back at the cabin. He caught on, and we ran out of there. Back at the cabin, we discussed what had happened. Gabriel tried to assure me that it was probably just my imagination playing tricks on me due to the lack of sleep. I was less convinced but willing to believe anything to keep my mind at ease. The next morning, we set out to retrieve my kill and decided to cut our hunting trip short. Whatever had happened in the woods was beyond explanation, and I was eager to put it all behind me. Our annual hunt had taken an unsettling turn, leaving me with lingering doubts and a newfound fear of the deep woods that we had once called our sanctuary. The purchase of the cabin was a dream come true. Nestled deep in the heart of the backwoods, it was a sanctuary of serenity. A place where I could escape the cacophony of city life and find solace in nature's embrace. The cabin was new, its walls untouched by time, and the land that stretched beyond it was mine to explore. On the first day, the sun bathed the forest in warm, golden light. It was perfect for a hike to familiarize myself with the land. Armed with a backpack, I ventured into the woods. The towering trees formed a leafy canopy overhead, their branches swaying in the gentle breeze. Birds sang harmonious melodies, and a serene peace enveloped me. It was everything I had hoped for. As the sun began its descent, I decided to head back to the cabin. I turned around, but the woods before me looked unfamiliar, like a landscape changed by magic. Panic welled up inside me. I had been confident of my path, but now I couldn't even recognize the trees around me. I took out my phone, hoping that GPS would guide me back to the cabin. Yet there was no signal, no connection to the outside world. Desperation gnawed at me as the woods seemed to shift and close in, blocking my escape. And then I heard it, a soft, mournful cry that seemed to float on the wind. It was a woman's voice, filled with pain and longing. I knew better than to investigate. The woods could play tricks on the mind, and I wasn't about to be lured into its trap. Frantic now, I tried to retrace my steps, but every direction I turned led to a wall of trees and underbrush. The cries in the distance continued, echoing through the forest, weaving their haunting melody. My heart pounded and sweat drenched my brow as I struggled to find my way back. With each step, the cries grew louder, closer. They were no longer distant. They were following me. I quickened my pace, the leaves crunching beneath my feet as I ran, guided by nothing but my instinct. And then I heard the rustling of leaves behind me, the soft footfalls of something or someone drawing nearer. My breath came in ragged gasps as I sprinted, not daring to look back. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I saw the cabin's welcoming lights through the trees. Relief surged through me, and I burst through the cabin door, gasping for air. Once inside, I felt safe, but the cries of the woman in the woods lingered in my mind. I knew I had to warn others not to venture into the depths of the woods. I took a wooden board and painted a warning sign, "Keep out of the woods." It was a small gesture, but it was my duty to ensure that no one else would be lured into the sinister heart of those haunted woods. The woods held secrets that I could never comprehend, and they had shown me that even in the beauty of nature, darkness could lurk. The cries of the woman, the shifting landscape, and the unseen presence in the woods were all reminders that some places were better left undisturbed. I would never forget that chilling hike in the woods, and I hoped that my warning would serve as a beacon of caution for those who might be tempted to explore the enigmatic depths of the forest. hello guys. If you found this video entertaining, it will mean a lot to me if you like and subscribed, as it will help my channel grow. Thank you for watching.